I'm going to show you how to make this and make it look like this. So nice. I'm going to work on the Ramcharger today on some beautification. So I'm going to show you guys how we can get this thing cleaned up and looking real nice. Unfortunately, this color doesn't pop on camera, but I'm not sure if you guys can see. I don't really think you can, but this whole side of the truck is nice and shiny. But again, that light blue is kind of hard to see, but I think we're going to be able to check out the difference on this one when we work on it today. And let me show you guys what we're going to be working with as far as tools that I'm using. And so what I have here is my variable speed DA buffer. It's a McGuire's. My wife got it for me a few years ago, and I use the crap out of this thing. I even sand with it. It's got a 6-inch pad that unfortunately needs to be replaced, but another time for that. But it's got the tooth, and I forgot what they call it, but it's basically kind of like a Velcro backer pad. And then I bought some pads from Summit. So I am not in any way, shape, or form compensated or even sponsored or anything like that as of yet, right? So this is literally just my preference on the stuff that I've learned to use over the years. So these are Chemical Guys pads, and they're actually 7-inch pads, but the backing on them is meant to fit a 6-inch buffer pad. So they're pretty cool because they give you a little bit more area, and I have had really good results with all these. What do you think? You like it? Yeah. Anyway, so Ori approves as well. And so the colors mean different things. The orange is like a, high abrasive cutting pad. The blue is more like a cleaner wax pad. That's what I use it for. And then the green here is like a polishing pad. It's a much softer pad. So, this is hard, softer, softest, kind of a Three Bears and Goldilocks thing, right? And these is what I'm going to use on the steps. So there's going to be kind of actually like 4 steps. And this is a McGuire's 105 cutting compound. And this stuff really cuts fast. So if you've got some, really oxidated paint like this, this stuff works really well to pull all this oxidation off. I will say this real quick before we get too far into it. This is a 78 Dodge Ramcharger. It has a single stage urethane paint on it, right? So this is not a clear coat, base coat paint job. And I don't know if you'd want to use that 105 on a clear coat, base coat paint job. So use it at your own risk. This is something I know that works well on this type of a paint job. I don't know if it's going to work well on a clear coat. I don't know if it's going to pull it all off, and you really got to be careful because this stuff cuts really aggressively. Once we get that done, we're going to move on to a cleaner wax with the blue pad here, and finally we're going to get to like a wax. I don't know if I'm going to use this. It's all I have left. I may run to the store and get some different wax, like a polishing wax. But before we start with the whole buffing process, when I did the other side, I noticed that I clogged these up pretty good because there's so much oxidation on this truck. So you can do a couple things. You can use like a CLR wash, which I've done before, which works pretty well. But I don't have any of that this morning, and I'm not running out to get it right now. But this is quadruple aught steel wool, and I'm going to use that along with a spray of soap and water to try to pull some of this down. I've already tried a little bit, and you can see kind of how it's shiny right here, and it works pretty well. You don't want to go too far into it because you don't want to do a whole bunch of, you know, gouges and scratches that you have to get out later. But that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to soap and water and some steel wool, and then we're going to kind of go from there. I got these pads at Summit. They're the most available that I have found at Summit, and actually the cheapest. They're about 10 bucks a piece. So just give you an idea what you're getting into. You can get the 105 at Harbor Freight or online. Most of the auto parts stores don't carry it. It is expensive. It's like $35 a bottle. This stuff you can buy anywhere. All the parts stores have it. And then you know, I'll get to you with whatever polish I use. So let me get this started with cleaning this thing off with the soap and water and SOS pad, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is just spray bottle, right, with soap and water, dish soap, because it's going to pull any kind of wax off of it. This is quadruple lot steel wool. Make sure you get quadruple lot. And I'm just going to clean the surface here. The steel wool, or the soap and water, helps kind of as a lubricant, but also helps pull some of this off of here. And you don't want to work one area too long. But doing this will save your pad, which I think is very, very important. It's actually cleaning really well, it seems to be. Now don't get disillusioned by the shine, because it's only shining because it's wet. Remember that. So I'm going to finish the rest of this whole piece, and then I'm going to tape it up, and we'll get to buffing. Alright, I'm going to rinse this fender off. A lot of that rust is just from the surface rust here on the fender. Quick little side note, we have named the Ramcharger project University of Texas. This truck came from there. It was a fleet truck for University of Texas, so we're going to call it after the mascot. We're going to name it BEVO. So this will be Project BEVO. Anyway, I want to move on, and we got that cleaning done with the steel wool, and it looks really, really good. It's still not shiny. Right, so now it's time to start working on the fun stuff. So I've got the orange pad on the buffer. It just sticks on, right? It's just that kind of like Velcro. And my settings are here. And with when you're cutting, you want to cut a little bit faster. There's actually a guide on here, you know, swirl and defect remover, 48, 5800, and then polishing, waxing a little bit slower. So I do about what I think is in between 48 and 58 here for the speed. And for the first go around, shake up my compound. This is at 105 again. Put a decent amount on because this pad's going to soak some up since it's the first time we've used it. Let me sneak this over my shoulder, and then I just kind of blot. And I'm going to work about that section at a time. A little bit of pressure on it too, just FYI. So I'm not just letting the pad do the work when it comes to the cutting. So a little bit of pressure. So you're gonna run it until you start seeing some of the compound disappearing. Like there's a spot here where it's not there. see a lot of that gunk's on the pad, right? This is an orange pad. Now it's, you know, blue like the truck. Take the best terry towel you have. This is not a great towel, but I'm going to use it anyway. And pull it off. This towel's not working great. I may need to go get something else. The microfiber doesn't work well pulling the compound off. So I like to use a terry towel, like a, you know, like a dish towel. That looks awesome. All right. So I don't know if you remember before, but you couldn't see my outline, you know, my silhouette over here in the paint. So you can see that shine coming right back. And it looks really, really good. This oxidation is still real thick. So, you know, you see down here, there's, you know, no reflection. But you see here, there's a reflection. And, man, it feels really, really nice. So, I'm going to do that whole thing again. I'm probably going to do the fender twice with the compound. Because it's just that dirty. It's just nasty dirty. And then we'll move on to stage 2. Here we go, starting to look better already, right? Man, got a nice shine to it. Now, might be hard to see on camera, the area is like right here. You can see this dark spot. Paint is really, really, really thin. So I don't want to hit that with the compound anymore because it's just going to keep pulling through that paint. This truck, it really doesn't matter because, I mean, it's a, you know, patina truck, right? So I don't want to pull all that paint off if I don't have to, but if you're working on something that's got a lot more complete paint, go really slow, turn the RPM down on the buffer, take your time, make sure you're not cutting through the paint like that, right? So do some inconspicuous areas first and then kind of go from there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here because that's a raw metal and rust. When I wax it, it might cover it up for a little while, but that's going to come back. But look how nice it looks compared to where we started. Looks really cool, huh? You can see me and the camera and stuff behind it. But I don't know if you can see these things. It's going to be real hard to show you. But there's still a lot of imperfections in the paint. There's a lot of, I don't know what you want to call them, little spots, kind of like a water spot. But this truck was probably hardly ever washed and hardly ever waxed, so this paint's not going to be perfect when it comes out. But I think the cleaner wax now, which is what we're going to do on our next step, is going to pull some of that out. So remember, you use that compound. This is not wax. It looks nice and it's a lot shinier than it was before, but there's nothing protecting this panel. So once we do the cleaner wax, that'll put a good layer on it and then follow it by our polish. So let's get the other pad out, which is going to be the blue pad here, and get the cleaner wax. And it's just a little bit different of a process, so I'll show you guys that quick, and then we'll get to finishing up this panel. Again, I'm not doing this panel twice. Sometimes if you have a good amount of paint, you can do it twice and really, really clean it up, but it's too thin, way too thin. So all right, I got the blue pad on. And I'm gonna turn my speed down to like in between 38 and 48, right there. And then the rest of it's somewhat of a more similar process, except I'm not going to use as much pressure. And we're going to let it glaze before we pull it off. So you get it on, same kind of thing, just dab it. I'm going to reapply some because it got sucked into the pad pretty quick there. Making a mess everywhere too, right? Alright, so I'm going to wait for that to haze. While I do that, I'm just going to move on and do the rest of it, right? Alright, got a good haze on it now. I'm just going to pull it off with this towel. And man, very happy. Very, very happy. Okay, so pretty happy with it. I'm not sure what all this funk is. You can kind of see it in the light there, but I might try to lightly compound it again later. I have decided to not put a final wax on it, but I'm really happy with the way it came out. Again, this color is really hard to see the difference, just because it just kind of blends in with the camera. I'm not sure what that's all about, but this fender was as shiny as this door earlier, right? Not shiny at all. You walk over there and look at the difference. This will probably be a really big difference here. It looks pretty awesome. I'm happy with it, and I hope you guys can use this kind of technique when you're working on your cars. So remember, this is a patina thing. You know, it's not a full restoration or anything like that. And I think the patina that is there is cool. This could possibly just be old water spots, and this is a theory, right? Because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I kind of think it is water spots because I doubt this thing ever got washed and waxed. And water sitting on it for a long period of time that could etch the paint and kind of end up like this. But you know, over this quality coming from this to this is really damn satisfying. So I'm gonna hold off on the polish until I get the rest of the truck done. I might just do all that in one stage. I'll show you guys when I get to there. Well, I'm gonna end it off there. We got that fender all done, so now I gotta do the rest of the truck. So I'll be working on that this week. Can't be more happy with the results. Remember, the other side is done too, but again, this color, for some reason, man, it's just real hard to see how well that paint cleans up. A good example here, as you can see down in the door jamb. But still got some more to do. This side hasn't been cleaner waxed yet, so I still have to do that. But there's going to be a lot more going on with BEVO, and gotta work on the brakes next. And I'm probably going to do like a front to back kind of brake job on this thing, because they don't work well at all, and I can't drive it until that's fixed. So got a couple more things, you know, brakes, fuel system, and then just, you know, trying to get this thing kind of back on the road. So if you're liking the Ramcharger project or any of the other projects we got going on, please consider subscribing. We appreciate you guys and your time and checking out our videos. We couldn't be more thankful that we have gotten over 1,500 subscribers, which it just blows my mind. Thank you, sincerely thank you guys for you know, checking this stuff out. Got some more events coming as always. Remember, we got Sick Week in February. I got some stuff to do on the Dakota before we do that, and some neat things for that. So just stick around, you know. Again, I try to have videos out at least every Saturday morning and sometimes Wednesday evening. So watch our Instagram and our Facebook for that information. And as always, you know the deal. Y'all be good.